Hi guys, it's Tiff. Grab a cuppa because today I'm going to show you 10 ways to use buttons in your junk journal. Now the first example I have for you is album covers. Why it's good to use buttons in this instance is because they can be quite bulky, and on a cover obviously it's not going to matter because it's on the front. If you're using them on pages, it can really bulk out your album. I find that they always look really good when I use them with birds. And this is just a little vine sticker, and I've just highlighted the leaves with these little buttons here. So that's another idea there. And this third album cover here, this was my Christmas journal, and Rudolph already had a nose, but I actually don't like that one, so I'm going to remove it. I'm going to replace it with a red button here like that, so I'm just going to stick that one on. Actually, I want one that's a little bit more red than that, so maybe that one. Yes, I like that one. Okay, so I'm just going to stick that on there. And then we will set that aside to dry. I'll just get my awl and place that where I want it to go. Beautiful. And so I'll set that aside to dry. Okay, so there are 3 examples of how you can use buttons on your album cover. The next idea I have for you is flower centers. So these were actually some little book pages that I decorated, and I had intentions of framing them, but I just never got around to it. So I've just used the buttons here in the center of these flowers, and I think that they look really, really sweet. Another way that you could use them as well is get some fabric, cut 3 circles, and then put a little button inside that, and that would also make a really cute cluster as well. And I've just used the double-sided tape there to give it some dimension, but that would look really cute there as well. And you can either hand sew the buttons on like I have done here, or you can just use adhesive and just stick them straight down. So that was the second idea, was using buttons as flower centers for your project. So the third idea I have for you is to use a button on the top of your bookmark. And why that works really well is, and I will demonstrate it for you in my journal here, is so that, you know, it gives you something to grab onto when you're actually pulling it out from, you know, the tuck or the pocket or whatever it is that you have it in. So I think I like these little ones here, these little flowery little buttons. But of course you can use any type of button that you like. I'll just do a few different examples. Maybe that one might be interesting with the hole in it. And what else have we got? Is that one too big? Maybe not. All right, I'll just glue these down, and then we'll pick a nice spot in the journal for them to go. So it's just as easy as putting some glue on there and sticking those down. Okay. And you just center those where you like them. Okay, that one's good. Okay, so I've just moved those over, and now we're going to find somewhere nice in the journal. Okay, so just say for example here, we can take our little bookmark and pop it in there, and then we've got something to hold on to when we're pulling it out of the journal. Plus it looks really cute as well, and when you close it you could even have it showing a little bit like that or not. It's just depending on how you like it, but you could even put a little button on there so that that's like a little tab, and that actually works perfectly because that flows into my idea number 4. Okay, and idea number 4 are page tabs. So I've got a page tab right here, and I'm going to pick a nice button that matches in obviously with the design. So an orange or yellow one. What have we got? That might be a bit busy. Actually, I'm going to go green. That will be nice right there. Okay, so I'm going to pop that A little bit of glue on the back there. Okay, and then I'm going to pop that on the end of my page tab like so. And then I'm going to close the book to make sure that you can see it. We might like it out a little bit further, out towards the end, just so that you can see it more when the book's closed, like that. So we can see the button there. And then it also gives you something to grab onto once again when you're turning the page. So that was idea number 4, page tabs. I'm not actually going to stick buttons onto this one, but I'm just simply going to give you an example of what it could look like, because I think that it would be very, very cute. Now, I'm not going to actually stick buttons onto this one because I've actually got little stamped months on there. But I'm just going to give you an idea because I think that it would look really, really good if you had like just plain tabs, but you wanted to put like little buttons on there. Or you could do a little label as well, but you'd have to do it around the button. Okay, so I'm just going to show you. I'll just line all those up on there and I'll show you what it would look like. Okay, so just carefully, I'll hold that up to the camera. If you can see that there, I think that would look really, really cute as well. Like if you had a tabbed album or a tabbed journal and you wanted to put little buttons there, and you could still put a label. You may just have to make them a little bit longer or use smaller buttons and a smaller stamp for the months, or, you know, whatever the tabs are that you're trying to create. So that was idea number 4, tabs. Okay, and idea number 5 is clusters. So you might just have some little paper strips that you've layered up and you've used a staple to attach them, just as I have here. And you might be thinking, well, I don't like the look of the staple. I think it's ugly or whatever. I think a really great way of hiding that up, you could use a little bit of washi tape, but this is a button. This is a video about buttons. So in this instance, I'm going to cover that staple up with a little button. Perfect. How cool is that? Okay, so I'm just going to find some ones that actually go with the theme of this. So a little pink one. And maybe just that one. Or I think I need one that's a little bit flatter actually. Oh, that could be cute, couldn't it? That could be really cute. All right, and then I'll put that one on there. And then these ones here are pretty cute as they are, but I mean, if you really just wanted to really just finish that off, you could like that. I'll just put that on there. Okay, so I'm just going to stick these down and hide those yucky staples there. Actually, I'm going to change that one. I don't know if I like the look of that one. I think I want something a bit more pastel. Maybe a bit more pink, a bit more pinky. What about that one? Yeah, I like that one. Okay. And once again, if you really wanted to go fancy, you could sew that, put some thread through there, but that's fine. I'm happy with it just like that. Okay. And then that's just giving these little clusters a little lift, okay? Just adding a little bit of extra dimension, a little bit of extra texture. And there we have it. Idea number 5, clusters. Isn't that just adorable? And idea number 6 is backgrounds. So this was just a cute little project that I made, an off-the-page project of my daughter. So just say, for example, that I wasn't sure what to put in here and I didn't have anything. You could easily use buttons just to fill in as a background, or you could be making a tag and just completely cover the tag in buttons. But I'm just going to show you what that would look like. Okay, so that's an example of how you can use buttons as a background. Okay, I'm not sticking those down because I don't actually want to use that for this project, but it's just to give you ideas of what you could do. Or another example for a background is you could take a tag and you could just place your buttons all over that and just create a total button background. You can leave the hole around the, you know, if you want to put some ribbon or something, or you can just cover the entire tag. It's totally up to you. And just have a totally cool. Now you could also punch buttons out of paper as well and cover the top of the tag like this if you didn't want to use your buttons. That's also another option, or you could just use little circles, but this is a video about buttons, so today we're doing it with buttons. Okay, so that's a really cool idea to use buttons as a background. A little button tag, how cool is that? You could even get, like if these were really ugly buttons or buttons that you didn't like the design of, you could even just do a nice whitewash over the top of that. And how nice would that be to have that effect of the buttons underneath? Very textured, and that might be an idea for another video, to do a textured background, whitewash background. So that was idea number 6, backgrounds. Idea number 7 is framing and or accents. Okay, so I'm just going to find a page in my journal here. Let's say, for example, that I want to highlight this little stamp here. So I'll just pop it out of there. Okay, so we could use buttons to go around the edge here and highlight the outside of this sticker stamp, because it's actually got a white outline and I don't really like the white outline, so I want to cover that. So I'm just going to use these buttons to go around the outside and just find a little design that you like, that works for you. Okay, down, 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 and there, and there, and one more on there. Okay, and then you just make it all even. Okay, isn't that just so cute? Now if I pick that up, it could be a blooper because they could just go everywhere because I haven't glued them down. But isn't that really cute? Using buttons as a frame. Okay, so I'm just going to put those back in there. Alright, so that was one idea. I've actually just got a frame here, and what you could do as well is you could just put buttons around the outside of the frame there just to highlight the little scallops and so forth and so on. This is actually looking a little bit Valentine-y for whatever reason, so you know, all you people out there that have cute Valentine's photos, you might be able to use your buttons to frame to frame your Valentine's pictures. So isn't that cute? So that was idea number 7, framing. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so if you wanted to use buttons as an accent, I'll show you that as well. Just how you would do that on a page. I've got an album over here that I made a long time ago. And I used quite a few buttons actually in this album. This was an album from when I was on the Rusty Pickle design team. And it was using their, Pirate Princess range. I can't remember if that's exactly what it was called. However, see how I've just used the buttons here to highlight that little crown? So that's what I mean about using buttons as accents there. And I actually use quite a few buttons in here. I use them all over the tops of the... Oh dear, that was all her little faces when she was a bub. All her little crying faces, how cute. Yeah, she used to perfectly put her mouth like in a, and I still to this day we joke about it, like she had the really defined when she was about to crack it, her little lips would curve, and then I'd know that she meant business then. Yeah, so here's another way that's not part of this video, but you can highlight your scallops there. Oh, there's one missing there. That's what's good about showing these in the videos, is that I get to see what I need to fix up, because I mean some of these albums are 20 years old, right? So they've probably done very well to last as long as what they have. So I use them there. I use them to highlight some more crowns here, just as accents on the page. So this is what I'm meaning about accents, using buttons to just highlight different points of the album. What's this one here? I didn't use any buttons on that one. Oh, what a mess. It said Secret Girls Mess. Wow. And this one was, so I've used them again around the outsides. Pirate Princess, and she had some bubbles. Pop goes the Pirate Princess. Oh, bringing back memories. And You Love Dress Ups. Oh, that's cute. So she's got my clothes on there by the look of it, or her brother's Wiggles top. That's funny. All right, so that, yes, you can definitely use buttons as accents as well. And I've also got a little one there, the pirate nose. So just the same before where I used it for Rudolph's nose, I've used it for the skull as well there. Okay, so you can use buttons for all different little things within your albums. Okay, so that was number 7, frames/accents. Okay, so the next one's a fun one, number 8, page strips. Okay, so on the first page here, this is actually baking paper that I used, and I coffee sprayed it, and I stuck a little bit of little cheesecloth down the center for texture, and I just used some little scraps and little stickers, and then I put buttons all through that. So you could have all buttons going right up the center there. That would look lovely, and then you just use those to decorate the sides of your pages. Now you can glue those down, but because I had something on the other side there holding that in, I've just used the paper clips, but you could certainly glue it, sew it, machine stitch it, hand stitch it, however you want to use brads to secure it, however you want to do that there. So that is number 8, page strips. Okay, idea number 9 is using buttons as closures. So I'll just give you a close-up of this. So I've just got foam tape on the base, then I've got a circle of cardstock, or it could have been a die cut, and then I've got another piece of foam, and then I've got the button on top. So that's actually creating my closure for this little journal. And then you open it like so. All right, so very, very easy to make. You just need some foam tape, as I said, a circle which you can cut by hand if you don't actually have a circle punch or a die cut, and then you just use some twine and you just wrap it around as many times as you want. This bit's probably a bit long. It doesn't really need to be that long, but that's fine. And so that's actually a really cool idea as well, using buttons to close your journals. Okay, and then last but not least, we have Now this is a project that I've done a long time ago as well, and it actually needs repairing, which I'm going to do in the video with you. I love using buttons for trees. So as you can see, these have fallen off, so I'm going to repair those now. And this is where your really big buttons can come in handy, because sometimes they're too big for our other projects. So I'm just going to pick what ones I like. I think I have to stick with the sort of big handy coloured ones here. Is that too big? Well, that might be okay. Oh, here we go. How about using that because it's a bit of fabric? That one's a fabric one, if you can see. So that might be nice for a bit of added texture. And then in the centre I might have one that'll be like a feature. That one's nice, but it's not an exact circle, so... Oh, here's a nice one. Yes, I think that might be nice. Okay, let's get busy sticking those down. Oh, I just went to try and grab my hand cream there instead of the glue. All right, so what I might do is oh, that was this one, wasn't it? I might put a bit extra along the outside there as well as here. Here we go. All right, so that's looking fab. And what you could even do is stack them and put another one in the centre as well. Like, I don't know, maybe red. What colour do we think? Probably keep with the theme of what's in there. Or maybe just a plainy type one to dress it down a bit. A neutral one. Or maybe one of those ones. What do we think about that one? Okay. I've just realised that this button, see how that's going to be sticking out? I don't really want that big back on there, so I'm going to get my pliers and squeeze that down. Okay, so just like that, and I've just made it flat. You can give it another press there. All right, and that way it's going to sit nice and flat. Okay. And so that's going to add some nice texture there. And I think also I'm going to add just one more little thing on there, just to give it a bit of a highlight. Do I have a nice little pink button in here somewhere? I might see what yellow's like. Yes, I think I might just give it another pop of yellow there. Okay, pop that on there. Now you can get whatever you've got to just give that a press down. All right, and then last but not least, so with this one here, you can just use your pliers normally. Yeah, that just popped straight off there. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. So once again, we will just give that a little glue there. Plus a little glue on here. Little glue never hurt anyone, did it? All right, and we're going to pop that down there. I really like that one. That's like the jewel in the crown. That one. Lovely. Okay, so that's our little button tree. And how delightful is that? And so that was number 10. Oh, sorry. I also had, last part of this was rainbows or trees. All right, I've had to call in the big boys here. This is my, I have several of these, but these are the ones that I don't normally use. I just have them for display. However, we need to come in here and find a blue button. That might work. There we go. So if we had a bigger red one on there, would that work? I might need to have a bigger green one in the middle just to balance it all out. Does that look like anything like a rainbow, guys? Probably doesn't. Anyway, it was a good idea at the time. Seemed like a good idea at the time. All right, so you could create just a little rainbow of buttons there like that. And I mean, as I said, this does not need any more and it's just really getting lost here, but like that. Isn't that cute? just to show you what it could look like. So red and yellow and pink and green, purple and orange and blue. Okay. Oh, that's cute. I think it actually looks cute on there. So that is what you could do, a little rainbow of buttons there. So that was number 10. Okay, so these were all of the things that we did today, guys. So we did the covers, we did the flower centers, the bookmarks, the tabs, the clusters, the backgrounds, the framing and the accents, the page strips, the closures, and the rainbows and the trees. Oh, and an extra one was for display purposes and hoarding. Well, I showed you one of mine. Well, actually, I'll show you the buttons that I don't normally go into. These are some of the buttons that I hoard that are just for display. A lady actually made me this little survival kit when my dad died. I think her name was Terry, and I've never ever forgotten it. So Terry, if you're watching, please leave me a comment because I have something for you. And if anyone wants me to do a video on how to make someone a little survival kit when they lose a loved one and what's inside, let me know. Let me know in the comments. So that's it for today's video, guys. I hope that I inspired you. I hope that you got at least one good idea. Let me know in the comments if you're going to try any of them, if you have tried them in the past, what you like. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.